found Teresa's pack, the damage didn't match any normal wildlife encounter.
16-year-old Teresa and Beer disappeared on June 1, 1987, in the mountains of the Sierra Nevada in California. She wasn't on a family trip. She wasn't with friends her age. She was with a 43-year-old man named Russell Skip Welch, a self-proclaimed Bigfoot hunter who claimed he knew the forests better than anyone. Teresa trusted him. She believed he was taking her on an adventure. Instead, she never came home. Teresa grew up in a rough environment in Fresno. Her home life was unstable. She gravitated toward older figures she saw as protectors or mentors, and Welch was one of them. He was eccentric, talked about the paranormal, and told stories about creatures in the forest. For a teenager looking for escape, it sounded exciting. On the morning of June 1st, Welch took Teresa into the mountains near Shut-Eye Peak, close to Base Lake. According to Welch, they hiked into the woods and explored for hours. They were alone. No one else reported seeing them that day. That evening, Welch returned to civilization. He was alone. Teresa was gone. When people asked him where she was, his story shifted almost immediately. First, he said she had simply run off into the woods. When pressed further, he changed it. In his new version, he said Teresa had been taken by a large creature. He described it as a Bigfoot, a Sasquatch, a monster from the woods. Search and rescue teams entered the forest the next day. They expected to find footprints, clothing, signs of a fall, or even the remains of an animal attack. Instead, they found nothing. Not a single physical trace of Teresa. No tracks. No torn fabric. No belongings. No disturbed ground. The forest seemed untouched. Helicopters scanned the ridges. K-9 units swept the trails. Rangers combed canyons and ridgelines. The area where she disappeared wasn't impossibly remote. People camp there, hike there, and pass through regularly. The conditions were clear. Visibility was good. And yet Teresa had simply vanished. Investigators quickly focused on Welch. He was the only person who knew where she had gone and the only person who could explain why he returned without her. His story didn't hold up. Search teams found no evidence of a creature. No evidence of a struggle. And no evidence that Teresa had voluntarily run away. Welch was arrested and charged with child stealing. Prosecutors prepared a case, but without a body or direct evidence of foul play, they faced a major problem. They believed he was responsible, but the law requires proof. They didn't have it. Before trial, prosecutors made a strategic move. They offered a deal. If Teresa's remains were ever found, Welch could still be charged with homicide. But agreeing to this deal meant acknowledging he might have caused her death. Welch refused. And without that agreement, prosecutors risked creating a situation where he could never be charged again. To avoid that, they dropped the case. Welch walked free. Over the years, the story has become part true crime, part legend, and part folklore. Welch's Bigfoot claim never held any real weight with investigators. Most people believe it was a desperate attempt to avoid responsibility. But because the case involved the Sierra Nevada mountains, an area already rich with local legends, wilderness disappearances, and strange encounters, the story took on a life of its own. The truth is more tragic than mysterious. A vulnerable 16-year-old girl went into the mountains with a man she trusted, and she never came back. Every search effort ended the same way, empty-handed. No trace, no body, nothing that could explain what really happened. There is no confirmed evidence Teresa was attacked by an animal. There is no confirmed evidence she fell. There is no confirmed evidence she was taken by a creature. and there is no confirmed evidence of where her remains might be. All that remains is a single fact: the only person who knows what happened is Russell Welch, and he has never offered a consistent or believable explanation. Decades later, the case is still open. Teresa is still missing. Her family has never received answers. Search teams from that era still describe it as one of the strangest disappearances they worked. An entire person vanishing without a trace, in an area where people should be easily found. Today, the story is often retold because of the Bigfoot angle, but the real heart of the case isn't the folklore. It's the human tragedy. A young girl looking for adventure and connection, taken into the wilderness by someone who should never have been trusted. Her disappearance remains one of California's most haunting unresolved cases. No evidence. No closure. No justice. Only questions that have lingered for nearly 40 years. Someone knows what happened to Teresa and Beer. The forest didn't speak. The man beside her never told the truth. And the mystery remains. Some still wonder if Welch's Bigfoot story was just a lie. Or if he saw something in those mountains that he couldn't explain. A creature, a figure, a presence he was too afraid to describe truthfully. We may never know.